there. I just wanted to share my little experience with you. I'm here on the beach at Sandbanks, as you can see. It's really beautiful. And I made it here on my cycle. I don't know if you can see it. And if you can see also, I've got a helmet. I've been really fortunate since I moved that people have been so helpful to me. And I was gifted the cycle. And I was also gifted the helmet. So it's just amazing. But what I wanted to share with you is my journey here. It's not too far. I suppose it's about 6 miles, but I haven't been on a cycle now for 20 years, since I was knocked off by a 4x4 and they just left me on the floor and drove off. So obviously I had a fear of going on cycles. But over the last couple of weeks I've been getting in touch with my inner child. So I've been across the heath where I live on the cycle, and what I wanted to share with you is how I compare my cycle rides to thoughts. Just hang on there. I know you can't think of that right now, but what I found is that I was going along merrily at some time. I went past several people. Some of them smiled back at me and said hello back. Some of them just grunted and walked on. So I suppose that's a bit like life. You can't win them all. Some people like you, some people don't. Some people want to talk to you and some people don't. And then as I went over the heath or come in here, there were some quite steep hills. And I fell off at one stage, and what a plonker did I feel. But I got myself up quickly and got back on and carried on with my journey. And that's because I was going uphill. And sometimes when you have a shock or overload, you do fall down. It's an uphill thing. So I continued travelling uphill, and then I got so far, and then I just had to get off and walk because it was just too much for me. I could not make it any further up that hill. So what I did is I got off my cycle and started walking uphill. And my God, how hard is it walking uphill when you're trying to take a cycle with you over all sorts of different terrains. You know, I went through sand, I went through gravel, I went through mud, and it was really hard. And I was just thinking, my God, this is like how I feel at times in life, when everything is an uphill battle and I'm carrying all these emotions with me, all these feelings that are just wearing me down all the time. And the more you think about those emotions, the worse it gets, and the more that you're carrying around with you, just like the cycle. So I was cursing this cycle at some stages today because it really was making the going hard for me. And then I get to the top of the hill and slight relief, get back on the cycle and then start riding back downhill. And I thought, this is going to be easy, it's going to be a breeze now. But then there's pits in the road, there's people bibbing at you because they don't like cyclists on the road. And I'm getting scared because I don't know where I am. And I'm thinking, oh my God, am I ever going to make it to the beach? And again, I thought, well, that's just like normal life, isn't it? Even though things do go downhill at times, there's still things that get in the way. There isn't any time in my life where I think that everything's been wonderful. There has been easier times, but what was important is that I didn't stumble off the bike. Even though I might have rocked when there was a pit in the road, it might have shook me a little bit, it was still okay. I was still resilient enough to stay on the bike. And that's what it's like when you feel that you're able to cope with things, and we call that resilience. You know, when you can build this inner resilience inside of you, then you don't fall off the bike, you don't stumble over, you just manage to negotiate round things. Or you stumble, you might fall a little bit, but then you get back up again and you get back on with the ride, you get back on with your journey. And I was fortunate that, you know, a couple of people did stop and help me with directions. Sorry about the phone moving. And I was able to get here. And then my reward is here, because look where I am on this beautiful beach. I've got my feet in the sand. I'm feeling the vibrational energy of the earth. I'm getting enthused with energy because I know that in a couple of hours that I'm going to start going back home again. And what I feel really pleased about as well is that I've saved my fortune on parking fees, because it's damn expensive to park on the beaches these days around the countryside. It's £2 an hour. And I can fall asleep now and not worry, because I'm not going to worry about having not enough money in the meter. In the last time I was at this beach, I was here with my friends and we had a wonderful time, but we were always aware that time was ticking away on the meter, so it was difficult to relax. But I'm here now and I do feel like I am so fortunate in life. I mean, the people that know me know of the traumas that I've had to go through, that I've endured, especially over the last 2 years. And many people wouldn't have made it, you know, they would have been really, really down and depressed. But I was really fortunate that I could release a lot of the traumas from my past. And this has really helped me to realign with what I really do want in life, which is the peaceful life that I am now living. And it's just amazing. You know, I just packed my stuff up, moved away from the situation, and I was brave enough to do that because of the resilience that I built inside. So I urge anybody who's listening to the video or who watches the replay, you know, you have the choice to move away from what is making you unhappy. You have the choice in how you want to feel. If you want to feel happy, feel it, because it's all inside of you. It's the universal constant inside of you that is there always. It's not like anger. Anger's not constant. It's there when you choose to be angry. It's not like jealousy or hate or any of those other low vibrational thoughts. You know, they are actual choices that you make and that you feel because of the situation you're in. And yeah, I'm guilty as everybody else. I have felt those feelings. I have acted in a way that I perhaps shouldn't have done because I didn't know how to deal with things. But I'm pleased to say now that that's behind me. And maybe times where I might choose to be angry again, because I'm not perfect. We human beings aren't perfect. You know, we all make mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes, or hopefully we learn from our mistakes. Because if you can't learn from your mistakes, you're going to keep making the same ones over and over again. So if you're in a situation where you don't think you can cope anymore, like I was just going on and working and feeling like that hamster on the wheel, that I really did have to change my life, because I knew that I had no quality of life. There is no quality in life in working just to sustain your life, just to keep the food on the table, just to keep the roof over your head. There has to be more to life than that. So here I am in this beautiful place. I ditched everything that I had, all my material assets, apart from a few clothes, books and a workstation, and came here to this beautiful county of Dorset. And I don't know anybody here. You know, people say, oh, you must have friends there. No, I know nobody here. I moved in with people that I don't know. I just took a chance that this would be my escape and it would be a lot better for me than where I was at. And hopefully, in time, where I was at will be better for the people that I've left behind. But there comes a time in your life where you have to say to yourself, you know, I have to put me first. And I say that because if you don't put you first, what good are you to anybody else? Yes, many of you listen may have children and you think you have to put your children first. But you are the most important thing in your life. And if you're not fit and healthy in your life, in your mindset, what sort of example are you going to set for your children? If they see you constantly struggling, constantly losing your temper, you are their teachers. You know, so you have to be aware of what lessons you are teaching your children too. It's a difficult one, and I know, because people have to be have to do the things they do to keep the home for their children, to keep them safe. But just be aware, you know, how you are acting in front of them and what you're teaching them. But for me, this has been an exceptional journey. I will be attending court in the next 2 months from a case related to something way back in my history. And I'm proud to say that I was able to get the courage to take that step as well, because of the resilience that I built up inside me. And now I feel like I'm taking back my control, because what people do to you in the past can affect you forever. You know, you don't even realise that the things that you're doing are related to that past event. You know, childhood memories can impact on you for decades unless you can deal with them and release them. And what's extraordinary is that, you know, you house all these feelings and thoughts about yourself inside, and yes, it makes you unhappy, but you project them outwards, and people around you also sense those things inside of you, and they react to you in the same way as what you're projecting out. This was such a difficult lesson for me to learn, being in that victim status. It attracted more things that made me a victim. You know, the feeling that I wasn't good enough, or I didn't fit in, or people didn't like me. That was an uphill struggle for me, just like the cycle ride. It was an uphill struggle, and I just couldn't understand why these patterns were going round and round and kept repeating themselves. But I had to learn from those things, because I really was forced to address what I was carrying inside of me and what I was projecting out to the world. And my God, was I the bear growling at all the feedback that I got from people. But without accepting that that is how I was projecting myself out into the world, and having the mentors to support me through it, there was no way that I was ever going to get rid of that. So, you know, be aware of what you're holding inside, what patterns of behaviour, what patterns of thoughts that you have inside of your head, and what you're carrying around with you, and what you are projecting out in the world. Because what people see in you is what you see in yourself. So be honest with yourself. What do you see in yourself? You know, do you think I am worthless, I always get things wrong? What tail enders are you using, even if you're trying to be positive? What tail enders are you putting on the end of it? You know, I really want to be rich. I know it's never going to happen to me. That's what we call a tail ender. And that negates all of the good things, the good intentions that you're setting for yourself. So be aware, even when you're goal setting, which is a really good thing to do, is to set some goals for the future. What tail enders are you adding to the end of those goals? So I'm sorry if you're making comments. I can't really see because the sun is really bright out here and it's reflecting on the screen. I can actually see myself twice, which is really weird. But I just wanted to share my experience with me so far and where I am in life. I feel very honoured to have had the news today that I've been offered the highest accolade that you can get in hypnotherapy, as an advanced diploma as a hypnotherapy practitioner. All the studying that I've done over the years, which I see now is really just a way of me making myself feel better. The more I study, the more I thought that people would like me because I was clever and intelligent, and I would feel better about myself. And believe me, I have thrown myself into so much study. I've done far more than anybody I know. And just by chance, I thought, I think that I'm entitled to some sort of recognition for all of that work. And yes, I had that news today that I am going to be honoured with that accolade of being an advanced diploma in hypnotherapy. So I'm absolutely thrilled. And at the moment, thanks for that. And I'm just writing my book. I'm about to page 50, and I hope that's no, I'm not going to hope, because never hope for things, because hope always leaves room for doubt. The book will be ready in about 4 weeks' time, and it will be available on Kindle. And I'm not going to go through all of the things that I'm suffered, because if you look at the legal term of suffering, the definition is that you allow suffering to yourself. So I'm not going to harp on about that, but what I am going to share are some of the techniques in the book which I feel over the years have actually kept me on the earth, because there were times where I didn't want to be here anymore. You know, I did contemplate suicide. So I am just so honoured and privileged that so many people have been around to help and support me during this time, and have given me the confidence to be who I am today. And it's been a remarkable journey for me, and I am now 60, and I know that this really is just the start of my journey, because I am not that same person that I have been for the last 60 years. And I hope that some of you will, follow me on my journey, because this is astonishing what I'm doing right now. And I would love to have some of you along with me. So please get in touch with me if you want to be involved in some of the things that I'm doing. And thank you for listening. So I am going to sign off now and get on with relaxing on the beach. I wish some of you could be here and share this beauty with me. And then I will start making my way back home to eat. So thank you so much for tuning in, and message me if there's anything that I can help you with. So please be safe and happy, and know that I'm around if you want any help. Thanks for listening, and take care. Bye.